Good morning. Let's call the Covington County Commission meeting for June 10th to order. I'd like to invite everybody to stand. Join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation. Please join us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kyle.
Let's pray. Dear Lord God, we come to you today thanking you so much for your many blessings. Thank you for allowing us to come here today safely. We just pray that you be with the ones in this meeting, Lord. Be with the commissioners as they handle the county's business in the way that's fitting to you, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated again. Thank everyone for coming today. Again, welcome everybody. We've got a pretty nice looking crowd today, so I'm glad to see that. Very excited about that, having people here to be part of the business of the county. At this time, we have no public scheduled hearings, but we do have some, no public comments from citizens or scheduled employees, comments from citizens as scheduled. We have awards and presentations, none, but under public comment for other elected officials, I see we have different officials sitting around here, and I'd like to recognize them. We have Frank Schaefer from 911. Glad to have you here today, Frank. Things going good at 911?
Everything's going good. Thank you so much.
Good deal. We have Miss Courtney Teal from Judge Brooks's office, intern, is that correct? Glad to have you here. Sheriff, Lynn. So, Chuck, it's your turn, because I know you got to have something today. Anything good today, Chuck?
Yeah, give me just 1 minute.
I knew.
Thank y'all very much, Commissioners, for letting me speak this morning. I have some really good news for the Revenue Commissioner's Office. It took them about 3 months to go through all the billing and all the collections, all the assessment, everything in the Revenue Commissioner's Office, they audited. And there was no findings whatsoever in our office for those 7 years. So that is a huge accomplishment. I want to thank my employees and everybody that helped with this matter. And I'd also like to tell you, next week I'm going to tell you about the trends. The state of Alabama has come in and done a trend study. Every year they do this, and I'm glad that we have the 7% cap in place this year, because there is some higher trends than 7%, and I will give you all that information next week, and we will see how many it affects, because I will be sending BOE notices, which are Board of Equalization notices, out for everyone's property tax that went up over $2,000. They will get a notice, and then they will have the opportunity to come to the board and be able to contest their value of their property if they would like to. Also, one other quick thing is that the final settlement, I have it here, it's a lot of numbers. It's every number that took place in Covington County for property taxes. I will also bring this forward to y'all next week for Michael to sign off on it. And this means that we have finished 24. It's all in balance as far as we know. We will send it to the state of Alabama, to Chris Lantini, which is the comptroller for the state of Alabama. We will send it after Michael and the commission have a look at it next week. And it looks like it's perfect for 24 as well. So thank y'all.
Thank you, Chuck. The 7% increase you was talking about, that's what the legislature passed, to only have a 7% increase on property tax over, is it a 3-year period? Is that correct, or?
Well, it's every year. I mean, it's a 7% in place, so if you got 30% at Gant that went up, they can only go up 7%.
But I couldn't remember if it was like for a certain amount of years and then had a sunset law where it kind of went away at the end.
It's in place, you know.
Okay.
There's talk about going to 3%, which that's going to be Matthew Hammett and Josh Carnley doing that sort of thing. Also, since you brought that up, since this is a public meeting, I wanted to say one thing. Y'all please try to talk to Matthew and Josh Carnley about the over 65 exemption on the $12,000 threshold. That was done in the 70s. It needs to be changed to 25,000 or whatever number y'all think is correct. But that number has been setting for a long time, and this would exempt people, because y'all know in 72, $12,000 was $12,000. In 2025 that we're in now, it's not $12,000 anymore. So we need to try to push Josh and Matthew to do that through the state of Alabama.
Thank you, Chuck. Come on down to our consent agenda. You've been emailed the minutes from May 8th, 2025 workshop and May 13th, 2025 regular meeting. And also in that, we'll have the accounts payroll. That'll be pages, for May, that'll be pages 2 through 33 in your packet. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to accept the minutes and accounts payable as presented.
I make a motion to accept the minutes and accounts payable.
Have a motion from Robbie.
Second.
Have a second from Ben. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. There's gonna be nothing under the old business, but we do have, under new business, several items today. The first one we're gonna mention is the purchase of a new AC unit for the admin building. That is pages 34 through 36 in your packet. This was presented at the workshop by Philip. For the replacement of a unit here at the administration building. I think this unit was an older unit, wasn't it, Philip, that has met the end of life. And it's costing more to keep repairing it than it would be honestly over a period of time to actually install a new one. We have the price of $18,951 from Rogers Refrigeration. And then another one is the same, yeah, for $18,500 from Elite Comfort System. That's the two quotes we have on that. So at this time, I would entertain a motion for either or.
Make a motion, we proceed with Elite Comfort Systems quote, get it repaired, replaced.
Have a motion from Tommy to proceed with Elite Comfort Systems Heating and Cooling. Do I have a second?
I second.
Have a second from Ms. Lynn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Next will be the declaration of surplus from audio and visual, video equipment from the chambers. This is some old equipment that we had in here. We've upgraded our equipment to, be able to continue to broadcast our meetings. The other was at the end of life and we was unable to continue with that because we was fixing to be where we could not, put out on the YouTube our meetings. At this time, I would entertain a motion to surplus the said equipment on pages 37 in your packet. We'll put it on Gov Deals. If it does not go, then we'll have it just disposed of at the, we'll say between Kyle and Eric and let them figure out the best way if it does not sell on Gov Deals.
Okay.
So at this time, I'd entertain a motion.
I make a motion.
Have a motion from Ms. Lynn,
Second.
second from Tommy. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Next, discuss and award, bid for restoration for the, services for the courthouse floors. We received a couple of bids, but after reviewing the bids, they're entirely different products, I think, that are being submitted. I think what my recommendation would be the Veteran Homes cleaning solution because of the way the product's done, the way it's gonna help preserve the historical marble in that building. That would be my recommendation, but y'all have looked to have a copy of both of those, so I will take a motion on whichever.
I'll make a motion that we accept veterans.
And I'll second it.
Have a motion from
Third.
Ben,
Third.
a
Third.
second from Ms. Lynn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The next would be to, discuss and award bids, for vehicle purchase for the sheriff department. Sheriff, this is for the three
This for the three patrol.
SROs.
For SROs. We were gonna purchase these out of discretionary funds, but it's, purchase of 3 vehicles for the SROs. I have not seen the bid return yet. I discussed it with Alan this morning and he hadn't seen the last one either, so.
The bids were received yesterday
They
at
were.
3 o'clock. We opened the bids. There was only one actual response. We did have one no bid response. That one was for Asia Motors. They submitted a bid for a 2018 Ford Explorer for $17,860, another 2018 Ford Explorer for $10,660, and a 2020 Ford Explorer for $20,660.
Okay. Right. That's-
Total 58,180.
Yeah, I think that's 19.
Was it 19?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
I'm
supposed to be
sorry.
19,000, yeah. Yeah, it's-
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
58 what?
180.
58,180.
And that'll be paid for out of the sheriff's discretionary funds. So it's not a budget item, but he pays for it
No,
out
I
of
pay
his
for our
funds himself.
discretionary funds, and we'll pull 3 more off the road.
And that's
have
what I was finna say,
surplus.
when these get on, you're gonna surplus 3 of the SRO vehicles that
Right.
you have
I'll
now.
surplus the 3 worst ones.
So that's the bid that we received
What kind of
from,
mileage were on these vehicles? Not that it probably matters to us, but it might to the sheriff.
I'm not sure, Mr. Lynn, I'm not sure.
Actually, from what research I've done through that particular vendor, we'll call it, the mileage is pretty low on these cars.
Good deal.
These cars come from cities and campuses and things like that they're not run a whole lot. So the mileages are pretty low, and the hours are too. You gotta really look at the hours. But they're low.
So at this time, I will entertain a motion for the 3 vehicles described by Ms. Sowell for the sheriff to purchase through his discretionary funds for the school resource officers.
I make a motion to purchase.
Have a motion from Tommy,
I'll second.
second from Robbie. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Sheriff did ask me, could we do one thing today? He wants to surplus 2 vehicles.
Correct, and I apologize for not getting that to you guys sooner. We do have 2 vehicles that are at end of life. One of them is a Honda Odyssey van. It was a purchase that we had made through drug funds. The transmission has gone out on it, and it costs more to fix it than it would be to replace it, and I'd like to surplus that. Another one is a Dodge Ram half-ton truck that we had bought back in 2019, and the motor is bad in it. And considering the mileage, which is around 170, 180,000 miles, it just wouldn't be cost-effective to fix that truck.
Surplus these on Gov Deals.
Surplus them on Gov Deals, that's correct.
So you heard the 2 vehicles, and he can get with Karen and Rachel about getting the actual VIN number, mileage, and everything he needs to get rid of these vehicles.
That's correct.
So at this time, I'd entertain a motion to go ahead and surplus these 2 vehicles to get them out of the way, because, you know, we at one time had a bunch out here, and we finally got a
Right,
bunch of them
trying to
gone,
get them
so let's see
cleaned
if we can't go ahead and get these vehicles surplus and out of the way. So I would entertain a motion to surplus the 2 he described, and let him get with Rachel and Karen to get all the information of them.
I'll make a motion to surplus the 2 vehicles.
Have a motion from Robbie,
I'll second.
second from Ben. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Discuss date and times for the evening workshop and meeting. I know this is something Tommy has worked very, very hard on, Tommy, and I know I think you kind of went through your calendar and looked at some dates.
Yeah, I don't know if I could pull that text up I sent you with the dates on it. We changed, we didn't change one, did we?
No, we just
went
said it would
from-
be the second workshop and the second meeting of the month for June, July, and August. Is that correct?
Yes.
But the one thing about the one in August, we did look at, and that is when the ACCA conference is.
No, it's not.
It's not-
It's the week prior. to that.
So it'd be the week prior to that.
Is that right, Rachel?
Okay, workshop.
But it would be on Thursday night.
Oh, we're staying till Friday.
No, you're not. You're staying till Thursday.
Miss Lynn said she's coming back Thursday.
He is too. He just doesn't know it.
So,
Yeah, the dates I sent you were for a year's worth, not for the 3 months, but
right.
we did look at the second meeting, second workshop of each 3 of those months to do that.
And discussion was, that's when everybody's out for the summer. Everybody can be getting off of work. So if people who don't want to stop by or wants to stop by can at that point in time, because we're talking about 5:30 in the afternoon for each of these meetings, to give the public a chance to come attend. So
Is 5:30 enough time?
I would think so, by the time they get off of work and by the time they got over here, I think.
Is that enough time for y'all? Depends on where you are.
So at this time, I would entertain a motion for that.
For 5:30.
Or what time would you like?
I don't wanna make it later, but I don't wanna make it where, commissioners' full-time jobs are interfering. What do y'all think? Is
I'm
6
good with
too late
11.
for y'all, you think?
I'm not in favor either way.
How do,
Okay,
and then how do we compensate our employees for that?
We can
Comp
either,
time, overtime?
either probably be, Karen, y'all's bill on comp time or overtime?
The way the current policy reads, everyone receives comp time unless it's in, like sheriff's department and such, so,
Even if they have to come in a little bit late that morning?
yeah, I would have to make special arrangements to allow them to be paid for overtime.
I think 5:30's fine. Myself,
You're retired, so.
that's right.
All right, we'll try 5:30, see how it goes.
So am I getting a motion
I'll make a motion.
from Tommy
Yes.
And I'll second it.
for the second meeting, workshop and meeting of the month,
For June, July, and August.
to start at 5:30. Okay. And I have a second from Ms. Lynn.
Yes.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
We got 3 yeses and 1 no, with Ben being the no. Like I said, it'll be a trial basis. I know a lot of citizens ask about variation of time, so we'll, and like Lynn said, I think that'll be the best time where everybody's out of school, so if they can attend, they
Well,
want to.
It'll give us the opportunity to see, and it'll give the citizens an opportunity to come, and then we can go from there. Because I know we do hear a lot about the complaints of not having a meeting where the public has the opportunity to be here because they work. So,
Just suggestions, not complaints.
Suggestions, yes, suggestions. Report from staff, Ms. Karen. I know we have our auditor here, examiner, whatever you want to call it, doing one of our audits, so we're getting along with that. The accountant is supposed to arrive today to help get another year, start to get another year rolling, so hopefully while they're here, we can just kind of hand that off to them. Anything else,
I think that's it at this time.
Ms. Morgan?
No, sir.
What about the Op City School resolution? Was that?
I figured I was hoping you was gonna, the city of Opp has asked the commission to adopt a resolution to not rescind the sales tax that they're getting because they're looking for a bond issue. And actually, I would like to call Mr. Ted Watson up. I know you, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because I know Ben had mentioned it.
So I can't remember the exact date, but it was probably closer to 10 years. The commission levied a tax that would be distributed amongst the schools based on enrollment. And so Opp City School was naturally a part of that. And I'm sorry, why am I up here? Because I am the acting superintendent. I'm not the superintendent. Emily Edgar is fighting some health issues, and she'll be back shortly, but I'm speaking on her behalf. So anyway, I asked myself, what would I say if I got up here? You all asked me to come, and I'd say, hey, listen, 50 years ago, there was this young man by the name of Mike Dubose who traversed the halls of Opp High School, and he was being cooled on a hot summer day by an air conditioner that had been installed about 10 years prior. That air conditioner that cooled him 10 years prior to him being in high school is still in that high school. And it is a 60-year-old unit, and it's amazing that it's held up. And so I think it's very wise of the administration of the Opp City Schools to be proactive in trying to replace that. It is an expensive endeavor, though. It's not like they aren't going to put forth their fair share of the funding. In fact, they've accrued about half of it. They're going to the bond market on the 23rd to try to procure a bond for about $3 million more. But part of that procurement on their end of the funds to float this issue or the bill is a continuation of the county sales tax that you all were gracious enough to let the school systems have 10 years. So, Morgan, you know how many years ago it was?
I think it was in the early 2000s, at least was the latest.
Okay.
They have sent. They have sent.
That's right.
No,
It was
that's-
I can't remember, I was on,
Yeah,
I was
that's
on board
been
with, I
about
should,
8 years,
but I don't
7 or 8
remember.
years.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Kyle said 7.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say about 2015, somewhere in that neighborhood is
Yeah.
what I
Okay.
thought.
There's some question as to whether or not a tax is attached to a bond referendum can be taken away or not. I don't know more, you know a lot more about that than I would, but nevertheless, I think the city would, city school system would feel a lot better if there was some type of memorandum attached to that, just committing the sales tax to the schools, not just Op City. It's not a new tax, it's just a continuation of the same one that I think was going to continue anyway, but they would feel a little better just to have some assurances from you all that that would continue on, and that's why I'm here.
Morgan, you got an opinion on this?
Well, the attorney for the school board has reached out and has proposed a resolution. I have not had a chance to look at it on your behalf yet, but I'd be happy to take a look at that and comment. This is standard as it relates to a board that is wanting to issue a bond asking for that commitment. It's just, there's nothing unusual here, but the decision point for you all to make is whether or not the levying of that tax is exclusively your decision. And so should you want to rescind it, that is your privilege. And so this would be a binding commitment for the period of time that they're asking for. And I'm sorry, I don't know if it was 10 years or 20.
Mr. Watson, how long,
2045, I believe.
how long
20 years.
is the bond issue supposed to be for?
2045. If
20
I could,
years. 20 years.
Mr. Chairman, say this one thing too. There also is a bond that was levied by the city of Op to float the construction of the elementary school. That winds up in 2037. I think the school system is also being very proactive and wise to lump all those into one bond, pay off the elementary school, that bond that the city currently has out, and they would be standing on their own 2 feet with regard to that debt service. So, anyway, just, I think there's a lot of good things going on over there in the fine city of Op, to be proactive in turn, I say it again, to get ahead of some of the things that are taking place and to make sure that everything continues to flow smoothly.
When would you need to know something by? Because we'd love to let Morgan make sure she looks at everything and gets the information back to us.
We have a meeting with the bond company, just some question and answer this coming Friday, 13th. But the young agency that Mr. Young, who's with an agency to procure this bond, is actually going to go to market on the 23rd, I believe it is. So the sooner the better. I don't know that it has, if there's I'm not sure that it has to be done at any particular point in time, like before those talks or anything like that. That's just some deadlines that we're up against, and I think that probably anything after that would be fine. Just a nod of the head would be great.
Right.
Okay.
But like I said, we'd love to let Morgan and everybody look at it, and that way the
that's fine.
commissioner can look at it and everything, so
think
let her
that'd
do a
be
little
fine.
bit of research on it.
Yeah.
So that was just, I know he had mentioned it, Ben had called me about it late yesterday afternoon, and we talked about it, so I thought
Sure.
we'd bring it up this morning.
Thank you all for the consideration.
Me and Morgan bring it up. Thank
I
you.
mean, they got a unique situation with Emily's health and just because Emily's, in a health situation, so they're trying to piece it all together with your help, and that's
Yeah.
probably why it's been a last minute deal. So if we can, I would like to try to, because all they want to do is consolidate the debt so the school system's standing on their
Yeah.
own.
Like I said, I think we could
Okay.
let Morgan look at it, and could you have something by the next workshop or something like that
Okay.
for us to look at?
Yes.
Okay.
And the next
Thank you.
workshop will be next Thursday, and then
That
the
sounds
following.
good. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Thank you. Mr. Rawls, anything from you, buddy?
Just one update, and then our bridge on Indian Creek, we're starting the abutment. I'm staying at Op right after this meeting this morning, and we're actually going to start on the east side of dirt work if we can find some dry material to start building that approach. Bush hog and everything's going along. I know blading right now it's pretty hard when it rains pretty much every day, and get about a day between. It doesn't have time to dry out. Starts back raining again, so just be patient on the motor grader work that we're doing in the county. The only thing I have is, y'all asked me to get the quote for the solar, the tracking system and cameras. We're looking at about 14 different units, our 6 dump trucks, herbicide, paint truck. There's other vehicles we're doing. The initial cost for hardware and installation is about $11,120 for that. And then I'm just gonna add about another a little over $6,000 a year in yearly fees for monitoring for that service. So, but that's what the cost will be for that. And I've got the quote here.
Initial investment was?
The equipment and installation is about $11,120.
Had
And
we
then-
not already approved?
We have, but I'm still giving you what the cost to be on this.
Okay, so it's approved, you're just,
Yeah, I'm just giving you an
getting ready
update,
to
what the
implement
cost to
and
be.
letting us
It's
know.
gonna add
Okay.
about $6,000 more a year in, fees on top of what we're already paying right now on all the units we got. So,
much better system,
yes.
more reliable, so we don't.
Okay.
But that's all I got.
All right, thank you.
Hey, what's the, your rock situation? You getting, you able to get rock from the pits and stuff?
The Monroe, the supplier for that, he's not gonna renew the contract, we're gonna have to rebid that. So we'll be putting all that back out to bid here shortly. The other ones are already in place, but the sandstone, not the lime rock, but the sandstone deal, we'll have to put back out to bid. I'm gonna break it out 2 different ways. I'm gonna put out 2 different bids for that, one for.
That's the one you brought the sample last week?
Yes, I'm gonna do one for that type material and then one for P7 pea gravel, as well. So I'll come back with 2 bids, break that out. And this time I'm actually gonna do something different. We haven't done the bids past. We try to get a big enough circle, to get suppliers or vendors to bid on it. But, what we're seeing is, we gotta go a long way to get this material that we've got a bid on right now. If there's another vendor that's closer, although he may not get the bid by, just say it's a penny. Say the other guy wins the bid by just a penny, and the pit's 15 more miles, which means a 30 more mile round trip. We gotta put in something to account for our trip time, to go get the material. So just because they may be the low bidder, that may not necessarily mean that they get the bid. So we're gonna add that language in our bid spec that we wanna, when we do this thing.
What about with our stockpile lime rock? Are we good with that, or you having problems getting from the?
We're just saying, it's raining, it's hard to get that material right now.
Right, hard to get it out right now. Do we have some?
We got very little, very little. That's why I want to get the sandstone stuff, it's not weather, doesn't impact as much as what the limestone does.
But they don't have stockpile enough to keep us going. They're having to
No.
mine it as needed.
It's just, well, we call all the time, it's just they don't have the availability of it, so. That's where we are.
Okay.
Lynn, I have a couple of things too. Where the brush is being cut, I know some of it we've picked up and hauled to fields or tried to put it. What are we planning to do with the rest of it?
We're mulching a lot of that up, this land right now. We got that new skid, we're mulching, a lot of that in place.
Good.
We're getting it picked, we're gonna get it all picked up. If it's not mulched, it will be picked up.
Okay, I just noticed in the south end of the county that there's quite a bit left on the roadways or on the sides, and there is concern. And also, are y'all still doing grading charts? Anything that tells us where these graders have been and how long it's been since they've been there?
We can get that information off our tracking system. So
Yeah, I look at the tracking system, but that, if the grader hadn't been moved in a week, you know, I understand. I understand. But I'm gonna go back one more time publicly. The north end of my district has yet to be graded, and that's been about 3 or 4 months. So I don't know if we're just missing, I don't know. I don't know what else to say.
I'll check into that.
Please, sir. Thank you.
Anything else, Robbie?
Yeah, at this time, I would like to make a motion for Lynn to solicit bids for the repair of the bridge on Paget Road. And let's just get several bids and see what the price is versus with us doing it. And efficiency.
And that is, Lynn, what is that?
Eden Creek Bridge.
Indian Creek?
Eden,
Eden Creek.
Eden Creek.
So Robbie has made a motion to solicit bids for the bridge on Paget Road to see what their price is compared to what our price would be. So I have a motion from Robbie to solicit bids for that bridge. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Have a second from Ben. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Anything else, Robbie?
That's it.
And also, since you brought that up, I was looking at the rebuild money chart this morning too. The bridge on Indian Creek, I know we have a certain amount of money that we assumed, I guess, that's what it was going to cost. Do you have any numbers yet?
I will send it, that'll be a good.
Example?
We put that bid out, because the bridge on Indian Creek is 104 foot,
Mhm.
and we're even gonna be 102, so we're gonna have some good numbers,
To compare.
just to kind of compare, we'll have those kind of, but granted, it's all about the depth and pile, of that. But we'll know how much we got in, all the materials, we can come up with either a square foot cost or a piling cost, to kind of get an idea on the savings on the bridge. So,
And how about our repair? How's it going?
on
Any of them? When you
we're
got
just
this
start-
many.
We're gonna start, water's been kinda high, we're waiting for this water to come down, but, we'll be going to Potter, hopefully about another week and a half.
Ms. Holmes, anything else?
Yes. One more. Mr. Corson, Mr. Weaver, and myself completed all of our commission classes this last
congratulations. I know
week.
that's
Thank
a-
you.
that
We
is
are
a,
now professionals. We just want y'all to know.
That is a chore within itself for the
I'll
commissioners
say
to go
Ms.
through.
Holmes is the professional, we just take it on.
I tried to help them out all I could, you
Well, look
know.
here, I'm gonna say congratulations. Me and Tommy, I will say, was a little lucky on ours because ours was during COVID, so we got to do a lot of ours online. Didn't have to go for
Absolutely.
in-person meetings, so congratulations on that.
Yes.
Mr. McGahey?
Yes. As y'all know, we have been in talks with CCEDC, Economic Development, about a piece of property in my district of Highway 55. Possibility of it becoming an industrial park land, but we have to have an engineering assessment done to go any further. And right now that assessment is, our part with the SEEDS Act in place, our part is $28,138.50. Now, Covington Electric, Mark Parker and I have spoken, and he has offered to pay half of that if we would move forward with it, which would make the part that we pay $14,069.25. So I would like to make a motion that we move forward with the $14,069.25 contingent on Covington Electric paying also, we pay them at the same time, you know.
Do we have any new information about the railway?
There is a very reputable rail company that is interested and would like to take over from G&W. Jacob Morgan is working on that right now. It came from him.
So I have a motion from Tommy to proceed with, oh, I'm sorry.
I just want to make sure, so our portion, what we're talking about is 14 what?
$14,069.25.
Okay. So I would, I'll second it, because I'm the one that asked Jacob to find a match. And I think Commissioner Holmes had made the motion that we just go ahead and renew it, and this way we'll be a step ahead. I know it's gonna be about $4,000 more, but I think we should just go ahead and.
Renew.
Because you could do another
You can
year
do
at least for
another year, and
10,000.
It's gonna cost 10,000, at the last.
I'll do
time.
another $10,000 option.
Yeah.
Yes, and this way we just go ahead with the assessment and see if we need to do it or not, so I would
When
say-
does it come up to be renewed?
I'm gonna have to
think
look,
it's
but I wanna say it's,
September or
I was
October.
gonna say the end of
I feel like
August.
I
I thought it was the
remember.
very end of August.
It could be.
So,
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
I'll
soon.
second. I'll second.
So we have a motion from Tommy to proceed with the engineering survey assessment
Assessment
of the
The
property
property,
for
to see if it's-
$14,025.
$69.25.
$14,069.25 contingent upon Covenant Electric paying the other half of that.
Yes, they said they would, but until we have check in hand.
Okay, so I have a motion from Tommy, a second from Ben. All in favor say aye. All opposed?
No,
So we have 3 ayes and 1 no. And the no being Ms. Holmes. Anything else, commissioners?
No.
Ms. Harris, I'm sorry, where you were sitting behind the sheriff a minute ago, I couldn't see you. So I want to recognize you. Everything good with EMA?
We're good.
Okay. Any other business for the commission? This time I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Tom? Ben?